Wow, I can't believe another month has gone. Well, let's talk about March. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be wrapping up what I thought was another busy month for March. So before I get into what I actually read and what I got up to, I'll start off with some stats like I usually like to do. So currently to date I had 1.9k views on the channel, which I'm pretty happy with. The subscribers have gone up since last month to around the 77 mark, and I posted 10 videos last month, which I was pretty happy with as well. Alright, so let's get stuck into what I actually read, and stick around because I'll be revealing my book of the month as well. So let's kick it off with the first one I read was Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. It was my first jump back into the Star Wars expanded universe, which is something I want to do this year, and it's the perfect entry point. Really enjoyed this one. Only took me about 3 days to read, and it was a lot of fun. It read very much like a movie, and it makes you wish this was the trilogy that they should have made after Return of the Jedi, but had a blast with this one. It was really enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to reading the next 2 books in the trilogy, which I'll probably do in May at this stage, I reckon. Alright, what next? We had another Mark Dawson book that I enjoyed as well, Salvation Row. Now, this one was pretty good. I found the previous book better, but still enjoyed this a lot, and I did review it on the channel, so if you haven't seen that video yet, you can check that out, where I talk a bit more in depth about this really good book, and I'm enjoying the series. The next one, called Headhunters, I haven't ordered it yet, but I'll be ordering that very soon, and I'll probably be reading that in May as well. Right. Also managed to finish Summer Night by Jim Butcher, book 4 of the Harry Dresden series. This one, I briefly touched upon it in a weekly update, but it was quite good. It was slow to get going for me, and the final 2/3 of the book was pretty good, and kept my interest. It wasn't my favourite of the series. It had fairies in it, which I'm not sure if they're my favourite supernatural character in the series, and yeah, don't know what it is I didn't like about them, but you know, Harry was pretty good in the book as always, so he's just a fun character to read, and I am having a lot of fun with the series, and plan on finishing a lot more of the books this year. Alright, coming up next we have a crime title, Dead Man's Time by Peter James. This is book 10 of the Roy Grace series. Really enjoyed this one. It was one of the better ones. It was about a 90-year-old mystery that gets solved, and involves the shady world of black market antiquities, and I like how Peter James with this one set the story not only in Brighton, but also jumped the pond, and some of it was set in New York as well, where Roy Grace travels to as part of solving the case. So really enjoyed that one so much that I've actually picked another Peter James book to read in April as well, which I mentioned in a previous video. Alright, and a bit of a mixed bag this month, or last month. We had a classic, Shirley Jackson's The Lottery and Other Stories. Some of the stories, they annoyed me a little bit. Some of the first stories didn't really have a point to them, unless her intention was for you to draw your own conclusions, so I guess that's a fair point. But The Lottery, the story itself was rather good. It was a standout for this one. I'm still glad I read it. It's one of the later additions to the list of classics that I want to read this year, and for the most part it was pretty good, but just a couple of annoying stories. Her writing style is fantastic, and yeah, I expect to read a bit more of her work in the future. And towards the end of the month I actually managed to squeeze in Recursion by Blake Crouch. This was brilliant. Really good read, a really quick read at just on 300 pages. The narrative pace that Blake Crouch uses is very quick, so events unfold very quickly as you read. I found the premise fascinating. I'm a sucker for alternate realities and time travel. One of my favourite movies of all time is The Butterfly Effect, and the thing I like best about this book, it had the technology in there that was very, very well thought out. Now, I've thought of my own theories about time travel, and you can think about the most high-tech machinery or alien technology to travel back in time, but it can be overthought, I think. And the premise of the book is, what if someone developed a technology where you could regain lost memories, in particular if its intention was to assist Alzheimer's patients recall their memories rather than lose them altogether. I found that quite admirable as a goal for the main character to pursue in the book, but it turns out that what if it's possible to go one step further and transmit or transport someone's consciousness into a previous memory where the physical body has to die and the memory gets put into the mind of your younger self in an alternate or previous timeline. Fascinating, because you don't have to worry about high-tech spaceships travelling beyond the speed of light to actually travel through time. It's your consciousness that actually goes back through time. So if you think about it, if your consciousness as a grown adult gets put into your younger self, you'd retain all your knowledge and experience and become a god, basically. So the premise was fascinating. The conclusion was very satisfying. I really enjoyed it, and I couldn't wait to get stuck into it because I did enjoy the Wayward Pines trilogy a lot. Back in January, I think I read it, the trilogy back to back, which was really, really good. So that was a standout for the month. Now, the other book that I managed to squeeze in towards the end of the month was Gwendys' Final Task by Stephen King, collaborating with Richard Chisma. Now, this is the third instalment in the Gwendy trilogy, and it's the final instalment, and it will be final, which without giving away too much. And I found this one quite good. There's been a lot of mixed reviews on BookTube about it, and I found the multiverse references brilliant. There's definitely, and this isn't a spoiler, there's definitely Dark Tower references. The Dark Tower's on the cover that you can see there, and her final task is actually saving the world, and the way she goes about it and how she makes sacrifices was really good in the narrative. And I haven't got a physical copy of the book here with me because I borrowed it from the library. I didn't actually want to buy it myself. I wanted it fairly quick, and I just borrowed it from the library and smashed through it in a couple of days whilst I was struck down with a certain virus. So managed to read 8 books all up during the month, and I found every book great. Okay, and finally, what was my book of the month? This is going to come as no surprise to some of my BookTube friends. Earlier in March, I did a reading vlog for this one. I had a good feeling about the book, and it deserved to have a reading vlog done about it. It turns out it has become one of my new favourite books of all time, and it was Boy's Life by Robert R. McCammon. An absolutely incredible book. It moved me. It changed my life. It is a book that I will read multiple times for the rest of my life. Just had no idea how good this would be, and if you haven't caught the reading vlog video, check it out. It goes for about a half hour, and it contains all my reactions and thoughts on the book, which just couldn't believe it. I mean, it's got everything there. It's the ultimate coming of age tale. It's got an irresistible mystery at its heart. It's got moving moments. You find yourself tearing up in a couple of parts of the book, which it's got everything. It ticks all the boxes. So it's a very, very worthy #1 book for the month of March, and I enjoyed this one so much that for April I'm doing another reading vlog for Swan Song, which is another one of McCammon's books. So there we go, that's what I got through this month. 8 books in total, which I was pretty happy with. managed to have a bit more time on my hands, not by choice, but by being sick and being quarantined in this room away from my family. There wasn't too much to do apart from read a book or two. So pretty happy with that. My April TBR is pretty full. It's pretty ambitious. I think I've got about 6 books to get through, and looking forward to that. Now, as for what's coming up on the channel, I did make a promise a couple of times about doing a non-book video which allows you to get to know me a little bit better with something that's not even remotely related to books. And I'm pleased to say this weekend just gone, yesterday, which was Sunday in fact, I managed to have a spare couple of hours up my sleeve to go and do some filming away from the house and come up with something pretty cool. And I'll show you the thumbnail quickly that comes up, and you can see it up here, which is a hint on what it's going to be about. So I'm looking forward to showing that to you. I've got a lot of footage there that I've done and recorded at my local billiards and snooker club, and I hope to get the video out hopefully by the end of this week. There's a lot of footage to go through, a lot of editing to do, and yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing that with you, so keep an eye out for that. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Offer the comments below. I'll always respond to those, and I always welcome feedback. And if you've read any of the books that I did in March, let me know what you thought of them as well. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, see you later.